Welcome to your active aging workout. I'm Coach Jody Becker, and your athlete today is Sheila Trelevon. We're going to start warming up in the swim spa, holding on to the Aqua Strength bells. You want your feet about shoulder width apart. Bring those shoulders down underneath the water. Arms are extended out in front of you. Rotate your wrists side to side. Take a few breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth. We're going to be spending 30 minutes in the water today, so take your time getting warmed up. Check in with your body. From here, you're going to spread the arms nice and wide into a V. Keeping a nice soft grip on the Aqua Strength bells, continue rotating through your wrists. Notice the weight of your feet connecting to the swim spa floor. Maybe think about spreading your toes nice and wide. You want even pressure from your heels to your toes. Great. From here, we're going to bring the swim spa bells beside your ribs. Keeping the elbows nice and tight to your ribs, one hand at a time, make nice big circles. So start by going clockwise, and then you can switch to counterclockwise. So again, about 30 seconds here, taking your time, checking in, notice if you're feeling any tension. Doesn't have to mean anything, just notice it. Couple more. Awesome. Continuing to connect with your breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Moving on to the lower body, you can put the bells beside you. Hopefully you've got your fins strapped around your ankles. Grab onto the side of the swim spa. And we're going to start to warm up through the glutes and the hamstrings. So taking your weight into the leg that is closest to the wall and keeping your foot flexed, you're going to kick your moving leg forwards and backwards. If you need a little extra balance, use your free hand to scull the water. And just do a quick check to make sure your shoulders are right up over your hips and your hips are right over that standing ankle. This is a great one to help improve your balance. And if you're feeling like you don't need to hold on to the side of the swim spa, feel free to let it go. And you can head on over to the other side or turn around to get the other leg warmed up. So you should feel this one firing up through the glutes. Again, keeping the foot flexed will increase the intensity. If you want to decrease the intensity, you can always point your toe. And notice that grip on the side of the swim spa wall. Are you gripping for dear life, or is it a nice, relaxed grip? For our final exercise of warm-up, we're going to grab onto the barbell. Hold it out in front of you with your arms straight. Hands are going to be about shoulder width apart. So for this movement, you want to take your feet about shoulder width apart as well and come into a semi-squat. So knees are slightly bent. Notice the pressure on either foot. You want equal pressure from left foot and right foot. And once you feel steady, you're going to start to rotate through the shoulders and the torso, trying to keep the hips square to the front of the swim spa. So again, a nice relaxed grip. If you want to make it a little easier or decrease the intensity, you can widen the grip. And if you want to increase the intensity a little bit, you can bring your hands closer together. You will see that theme throughout the rest of the workout. When holding on to the barbell, typically it's easier if your hands are wider apart and more challenging if they're close together. So that movement is all about warming up through the abdominals. We've done our full body warm up and are ready to get into the strength and cardio set. So this is going to be about 20 minutes. I'm going to provide lots of options for progression and regression. So starting with the barbell chest press to squat. So a chest press is exactly like you know it to be. You want to push that barbell out in front of you. Try to keep the barbells underneath the water. So those bells, you want to keep them underneath the water. If you want to decrease the intensity a little bit, you can have them out of the water. And then you're going to start to add in a squat. So with our squat, you want nice heavy heels, light toes. Imagine you're sending the hips back. And it's all about squat and press. When you press, keep the core engaged. So imagine you're sucking in through the belly button and the diaphragm. And that's giving you that nice upper body chest strength. In the water, it is the opposite of working out on land. So the hardest part for the squat is actually the down. So bringing the hips towards the swim spa floor, you're having to use the resistance of water, and then the buoyancy helps you come back up. So really be mindful when you're sending the hips back. Good. From here, we're going to place the barbell on the side of the swim spa and move into a leg exercise. We call it the high knee to leg extension. So again, you're going to hold on to the side of the swim spa. Your standing leg is the leg that is closest to the wall. From there, the moving leg, you're going to bring the knee up in line with the hip to a right angle and then kick out from the knee. So similar to our warm-up, if that foot is flexed, you're going to have the most intense version of this movement. And if you point your toe, it'll be slightly easier. So to make this one a little bit more difficult, you can do a couple things. You can not place your foot back on the floor between each movement. You can just increase the intensity by kicking, keeping that knee up in line with the hip. And we can turn around now or switch sides. And it's all about the pace as well. So again, another way to increase the intensity would be to pick up the pace. And same goes if you want to take it slow today. You have to listen to your body, do what's best for your body. Don't feel like you have to rush. We're really working here to connect the mind and the body together, being mindful of how this feels, one leg to the other. What's going on with the knee? Great job. So we're going to grab on now to our Aqua Strength bell. You just need one. And we're going to start in a standing position. Shoulders over hips, over knees, over ankles. And then come down into a slight squat. So again, weight in the heels, knees slightly bent. So this one you're going to imagine you're drawing a slice of pizza or pie. So start with the elbow tucked into the ribs and then cross the body. Bring a nice sweeping motion out wide before pulling the elbow back towards the ribs. Notice if you're squeezing that bell. See how Sheila here is keeping that bell under the water? That is the most intense version of this movement. But if it feels like too much for your shoulder, you can bring half of the bell outside of the water to make it a little bit easier. If you're finding that this is a little bit tricky for your balance, use the opposite hand to skull and help keep you steady. So after about 30 seconds, we're gonna switch sides. Okay, so you wanna cross the body, make a sweeping motion wide before pulling the elbow back in. So again, like a nice slice of pizza or pie with that bell. Sheila's doing a great job here of keeping the shoulders right over the hips and equal pressure between her feet. If you want to pick up the intensity, you can try to pick up the pace a little bit. But again, this is your workout. It's all about you. Go at what pace feels nice today. Moving into our next exercise, the core rotation. You're gonna hold on to that bell with both hands. Arms are gonna be straight out in front of you. Keeping the feet about shoulder width apart. You're gonna rotate through your torso and shoulders. So similar to our warm-up rotation, here we're just adding a little bit of resistance, holding on to the bell. Notice how Sheila's gaze is following along with that bell. That's really gonna make sure that you get the full rotation in through the obliques. Try to keep both feet pressed firmly on the floor. Connecting with your breath, as likely your heart rate is starting to increase a little bit here. Keeping the hips square to the front of the swim spa should be your goal. So if you're finding that you have a little bit of a challenge with the range of motion, notice if your hips are square and start slow. So you don't have to go the full half circle that Sheila's doing here. You can start with a semicircle. And over time, you will start to see improvements in the range of motion. It's all about building up that practice. So for our last two exercises in this set, we're gonna focus on legs. So you can place the Aqua Strength bell at the side of the swim spa and turn to face one wall. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of room here to move laterally. So you're gonna come into a semi-squat position. So again, you want to send the hips back, but keep the shoulders up and chest facing forward. We're gonna shuffle side to side. So this you're gonna really start to feel in through the glutes. This is that abductor movement. And notice how Sheila's got her feet planted firmly on the floor. It's really common for the ankles or the heels to want to come up with the buoyancy of water. So work to keep the heels on the floor. Take 3 or 4 steps to the left before returning 3 or 4 steps to the right. To increase the intensity, you can take short, quick steps and move a little bit quicker. But if this is your first time going through this workout, be patient, don't rush it. Know that there will be an opportunity next time to give it a shot. Try to keep those hips low in the squat. That's how we're really gonna activate, fire up through that bum. Great job. And our last lower body movement of this set is called the standing hamstring curl. So this is a really functional movement. I love it. Hamstrings are what gets us up and out of chairs, helps us pick up our groceries off the floor. So we're gonna do one leg at a time, and you wanna try to keep your knee right below your hip. And then bring your ankle or your heel up towards your glutes. So you're just gonna go 1 foot at a time. We are gonna go through 2 rounds of all of these exercises, so every time we come back to it, you'll get a chance to try it again. If you wanna challenge your balance a little bit, you can take one hand off the swim spa, or maybe even both, holding on to your hips or sculling with your hands at your sides. And after about 45 seconds, we are going to switch sides, so taking the balance leg into the other foot. The faster you go, the more intense this movement is going to be. And why not take the opportunity to check in with the core, making sure that our core is stabilized, helping to protect the lower back. Couple more breaths here, couple more reps. Great job. Okay, so we're gonna go through that strength and cardio set one more time. So in the active aging workout, we wanted to put strength and cardio together to give you an opportunity to build some muscle and bring your heart rate up at the same time. So remember, this is your workout. It's all about you. You decide the intensity level today, and there's no pressure. So coming back to the squat to chest press. So perhaps in round 1, you kept the movements separate. So you did a squat and then a press. If you're feeling like, okay, I can maybe pick it up a little bit, see if you can press and squat at the same time. So do a squat and a press all in one fluid motion. If maybe you didn't sleep well last night, or you haven't had your Wheaties yet this morning, take your time, nice and slow. Focus on how the knees feel, how good the water feels on the hips. Just enjoy being in this moment and moving your body. That's really what it's all about. We want to move our bodies in a way that makes us feel good, helps us keep going, keep moving. Take a few breaths and notice where you're holding on to the tension. So it's very common to clench through the jaw or tense up through the shoulders. And especially when we're holding on to this barbell, it's really common to squeeze the handles. So try to soften and relax. Great. Now moving into the high knee to leg extension. So this is that combo movement that focuses mostly on the quads. So the quadriceps and muscle group in the front of your leg above the knee. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, again, hold that leg at a right angle and just kick and pull without returning the foot to the swim spa floor. So this one we do for 45 seconds on each side. You're also challenging your balance here. Did you know that at the age of 18, your balance starts to decrease more and more every year? So by practicing movements like this, we are helping to maintain our balance or get it back if we've lost a little bit of it. And now you can switch sides. So 45 seconds again on each side. You probably will notice that one leg feels a little bit different than the other, and that's okay. That's very common. Noticing these things is a way that we start to improve the mind and body connection. Again, if it feels like too much, slow it down, take your time, point the foot, skull through that free hand to help with the balance. Awesome. All right, moving into that shoulder slice. So we're going to grab the Aqua Strength bell again. Maybe this time you start with the opposite hand that you started with last time. The free hand is either on the hip or sculling beside you. And we're making that nice slice of pizza. So cross the body, straight arm, sweep, pull the elbow back to the ribs. Straight arm, sweep, pull the elbow back to the ribs. Notice both feet firmly planted equally on the floor. I love this one because it's so common for people to have shoulder injuries, shoulder tightness. This one really works on the range of motion with the shoulder. The more you practice this one, the easier it will become, and the more you will notice improvements in that range of motion with your shoulder. So remember, start with your elbow tucked in nice and tight to the ribs. Switching hands and working through the other side. Similarly with the legs, you will feel that one arm is slightly stronger than the other. So if you need to bring that bell a little bit out of the water to accommodate, go for it. Continue with your breath, keeping the core nice and tight. Great job. All right, moving into the core rotation, one of my favorites. The core is the center of it all. So come into that semi-squat, slight bend in the knees, arms straight out in front of you, twisting through the torso and the shoulders. Let your gaze follow the bell. Any resistance that you're gonna feel here will likely come from your lower back. So honor your body if it's telling you, hey, don't twist that much. Honor that message and dial it back a little bit. Hands are relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Working to try and keep the bell underneath the water as much as possible. Keeping the hips facing forward in front of the swim spa. And twist, and twist. You're feeling the fire in the belly now. You're almost there. Good. This movement encompasses so many different elements of the body. Last few reps. Great job. All right, our last two, back down to the lower body. So we're gonna go that side to side shuffle. Again, maybe it's just you taking steps sideways, standing perfectly vertical. You will still feel it in the glutes. You will still fire up through those adductors, abductors. But if you take the squat, so bending through the knees and sending the hips back, that's where you really start to feel the burn in the bum. Remember to keep the feet firmly planted on the floor, the heels down. The water wants to bring them up. Try to keep them down. It's also really common here to bob up and down with every step, right? So the shoulders will go up and down. I challenge you to try to keep the shoulders in one straight line. So whether they're at the water level, maybe they're 6 inches above the water, try to keep that consistent with every step. That's gonna take a lot of focus to keep the core engaged. But what it will do is really isolate the muscles in the lower body. 2 to 3 steps to the left and 2 to 3 steps to the right. Good. Okay, last one here in this set, the standing hamstring curl. So you're gonna face the wall, try to keep that knee right under your hip. So we're really isolating the hamstring there. Hands are soft. Jaw is relaxed. The toes in your supporting leg are spread nice and wide to really help you balance. We're getting so close to the end of our workout here. Another 30 seconds of this standing hamstring curl. Bringing the heel up towards the glutes, using the resistance of water to help build strength, keep you strong. Stay with us. You're almost there. Another 10. 3, 2, And 1. Great job. So, one of the most important parts of our workout is always a proper cool down and stretch. So let's take about 5 minutes to let our heart rate recover and focus on some of the areas of the body that we worked today. So we're going to start the cool down with a side bend. Find a standing position that feels good. And we're going to bring the arms straight up overhead. Keep your feet firmly planted. And fold to one side. So you're going to feel a nice stretch, almost from your wrist all the way down to your ankle. Imagine you feel that nice side body stretch. Inhale to come on up. Exhale, fold and go the other way. Good. Now we're going to get a stretch in through the front of the shoulder. So bring one arm across the body and use the opposite hand to give yourself a gentle pull. Try to keep the shoulders and the hips facing forward. You're going to feel your heart rate slowly start to come down. That's great. And let's go on the other side. So again, bringing that arm straight across the body. The other hand acts as a little bit of a lever for a gentle pull. Your body will tell you when is enough. So listen to it and honor the signals and the signs that your body's giving you. Your muscles are quite warm now, so it's not the time to over pull. Let's get into the hips. So keeping the feet about shoulder width apart, we're going to do some nice hip circles. Hands are on the hips. You're going to press the pelvis forward and then slightly tilt it back. So we'll do about 15 to 20 circles clockwise. Maybe you'll feel a bit of a release in the lower back. And then we'll go about 15 to 20 going counterclockwise. Really make sure we loosen up through the hips and the lower back here. This is one of my favorite ones. It just feels so good, especially in the water. Few more breaths. Notice how the body is feeling as the heart rate starts to come down. And then from here, we're going to grab onto the side of the swim spa wall. We're just going to do some ankle rotation. So take your balance into the leg that's closest to the wall. Extend out through the moving leg. And we're going to make circles with the toes. Again, maybe 15 to 20 circles going clockwise. And then 15 to 20 circles going counterclockwise. Same thing through both legs. This one feels great on land and it feels even better in the water. The buoyancy of water really helps relax any tension in the joints. So let's do the wrist. Extend your arms out in front of you and make circles with your hands. You can do one hand at a time or both at the same, whatever feels good for you. If you want to open up through the fingers, it'll let more water pass through. It'll make that a little bit easier. And that is all for our active aging workout today. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to check out our Every Body workout when you're ready for the next step. I'm Coach Jody Becker. Thank you for joining me in the SwimLife Water Workout Series.